Hey, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you another episode of Tazman's AI Dungeon. And I just remembered I have to quickly do something because I just remembered something I wanted to do. Um, so, uh, I was wondering what we could talk about today. I haven't really made much progress on the clothing generator. I think I kind of know why as well. Part of it is the AI wants to put it on something, mostly probably because I actually mentioned there's makeup, nails, and all that stuff, and it can't, just have that floating in the air. I don't know if maybe you could tell it there's a mannequin of no gender or something like that. Uh, just so you can copy and paste what it's wearing or something. But anyway, I'm gonna think more on that. But today, um, I wanted to first let's go ahead and do our comments. I think that's a good starting point. Let's see. So I did actually get some comments from the last couple of videos, I believe. So I got one from uh, Pele Pele X Graves that says, "Been looking all over the place for a tutorial like this. Big thanks." So you're welcome, and thank you for the comment. Love the comments. And then I got one from actually a developer, one of the developers of a mod that or a script, I guess, that we've gone over, from Lulea97. Now, from the name Leia or Leah, I don't know how you say it. I'm going to assume we're talking a female. Plus, the little avatar on YouTube is female. So, if you're not, I apologize. But we're just gonna go with that. So anyway, it says, Tazzy, loved your video. I'm so starstruck seeing this. I'm absolutely overjoyed that you found auto cards interesting enough to explore and would love to answer any questions or help in any way I can. So I don't know why you're starstruck. I mean, I've been doing YouTube, what, like 10 plus years and barely hit, what is it, 2021? 2021 subs, but it's going up. But hey, either way, I'll take it either way. So there's some really good things here that she mentions about auto cards that I wanted to kind of bring up here. So anyway, one of the first things says, "You're so right about reserving the first part of a scenario descriptions for the hook to best capture the player's attention." So what she's talking about there basically is where I was saying, when you're putting your theme, you only get these three lines. Why do they keep doing this? Don't show. Maybe I didn't do that. I did have to log in again. I'm not sure why. But these three lines, right? Well, not that one. Um, do I not have my filters? Wow, I guess that word can be in teen. But anyway, these three lines are critical for you to hook your person that's watching, and I think that's what she's talking about there. Because if you don't have an image that's actually going to pull them in, you definitely need to pull them in there. But some people use this just like this. Auto cards credit goes to Lud Leia. Um, and then nothing. So, and I think this might even be a default one. So if I've seen this same image all over the place, why would I really be? I mean, it doesn't even tell me what it's called. It just says auto cards. So anyway, I think that's what that's talking about. She follows up with that saying, and honestly, you don't even have to credit me if you don't want to. I'm not picky. It's free, open source for anyone. And I want you guys to remember that part. It's free, open source, and for anyone, because we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. So the next part of the comment, this is a fairly large comment, but lots of good stuff in there. So it says, so at the time of posting, you're right. Previously, Memory Bank was required to use autocards and most other scripts for that matter. But the developers of AI Dungeon recently fixed this bug, so scripts now work fine with it disabled. So what that's talking about, for those that don't know, if we go into, I guess we could just go into any one of our scenarios here, it doesn't matter. And if you remember, it used to be a requirement that we had the memory enabled. It does end up taking up more tokens to do that, but it also can give you a longer story that actually is going to uh, make more sense and stuff. So if we come under, I believe, the memory system right here, we have the memory bank. So looks like it's no longer enabled. The other thing that you can enable that will help your stories, but definitely will start taking up more tokens, I've been researching it, is the auto summarization. And what this does is actually creates the story summary, or it updates the story summary. So if you're down here and you add the plot component called story summary, or I think actually if you even have that enabled, it'll automatically create this at some point, and then it starts populating it, and then it does try and keep it compressed so it's not super big, but it is definitely going to eat away at your tokens, because that is going to be passed along with your other things to the AI every single time you do an action. So that's good to know. Um, I don't know how bad your story might go if you disable the memory banker stuff. I would imagine it could get pretty out there, because the memory bank's what's going to help it actually keep everything from the past and all that stuff uh, in its memory. I'm trying to find better words. So anyway, then it says next up for the trigger keywords, those double-sided word boundary, wait, those are double-sided word boundaries. So I don't know, is Ludlay on this one? It is, but I don't think I actually have any cards that do it. Some of the things I usually do at the very beginning is I'll go and delete most of that stuff, because usually it doesn't come up in my story, and I'm kind of a freak and like to keep everything tidy and where I can see it. Usually if it goes past this line, it kind of drives me nuts. But that's just me. But what she's referring to here is, I was saying, for example, we have this little space right here, so that if Amelia, well, I use Troy for example, like if the word is destroy and I just have Troy right here all the way to the edge, this will trigger with the word destroy and think, oh, that's the character or whatever. So if we put the space there, it's going to actually, it is space sensitive, so it's going to do that. Now, what I've always done is I just put a comma and then my next thing. What she's talking about here is she's putting the, what she call it, the double-sided word boundary, is putting another space here, so that if if the only I'm trying to think if there's any words where uh Troy might not, it might be the first but then not the last or something. But what this is going to do is it's going to check for Troy with a space before and after. One downside to this is you might also need to put something like Troy's like this. Other words, it will not trigger, because we do not have a space here. It's not like that. That would trigger, that wouldn't. So some things to keep in mind. I wonder if I can hit Control Z. Oh, good, I can. So that's what that comment's talking about. Let's see, where did I get to? So anyway, it does say those word boundaries to avoid false positives for shorter words embedded within the fronts, interiors, and ends of larger words, which is like we were saying with Troy. Um, a single space in front only prevents the latter two edge cases. Maybe it seems like overkill. Fair. It kind of is, but I personally find it helps reduce the unexpected behavior, especially in larger scenarios with thousands of cards. Ha ha ha. So yeah, um, and I know I've shown it. I can't think off the top of my head where I might have one that was generated, but it creates this huge thing. It has like cases where it's like it would be Amelia with a parenthesis, Amelia with a double quote, and all these different edge cases for it. So let's see. So let's look at the next part. Then it says for the card memory bank, notes section of automatic cards, actually those are used by the story AI. Auto cards injects them into the context window when required. So this is actually kind of cool. It actually uses this section down here because as it adds more stuff in here, it actually puts it kind of summarizes it and then puts old information down here. And then if that ends up needing to come up as part of it, it will actually inject it back up into this for a token set. I don't know what it would be called, going back to the AI. Let's see. So auto cards injects them and they update over time the more you interact with the subject card. They even do periodic summaries to conserve tokens, so they even kind of trim themselves down. Then finally it says, gosh, I'm 3 months late, but happy belated birthday. So yeah, thank you for that. She also did join my Discord and actually was chatting with me there, talking about some of the stuff more, more about how I have my Discord not, I, the roles aren't quite as configured as I want them to be, or how, when I set up this Discord, it was actually good, but lots of features have been introduced since then, and I don't have any of those. So I think I've got those fixed, but that's besides the point. Hold on just a second. There we go. That is basically that comment. Now, the next thing I'd like to do is just talk a little bit about, remember how I said, remember that free open source available to use for anyone. I was on the AI Dungeons Discord server, and I saw something that kind of made me sad. And I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. So anyway, there's a post by Ludlea saying, today I didn't respond to any harassment or questions about auto cards, at least no questions I wasn't interested in answering. Novelty and kindness are key, nor will I respond to any tomorrow, nor the next day, either, etc. Um, I think if I'm reading it right, and if I look right, she used to be in the helper category uh, of AI Dungeons Discord, and she's no longer there, which is what this part says. If anyone has questions about auto cards, is this what it is? Then I'm sorry if I don't reply. I'm just done with it for now. Not personal, and it's not that I don't care, just trying to please everyone was steadily destroying my interest in this hobby. In the meantime, maybe your questions will be answered by reading the detailed guide. Don't ask me where that is. Read the config card instead. It's in there. But anyway, so this is actually really sad, and it happens a lot in not just here with scripts, but I see it happen like in World of Warcraft with people that are developing plugins or mods for that. Uh, One thing to always remember is these people are dedicating their time, efforts, and their ideas for free. They're not asking for anything in return. And I think it's really important to remember that, because a lot of times all they see is the negative. It's kind of like, well, I mean, bad news sells. I mean, if I live in Salt Lake City, and if on the news they said breaking news, the weather in Salt Lake City is very nice. More after these messages. No one's going to tune back in and watch that, right? Um, so rarely does the positive things, if you go to a restaurant and you're treated poorly, you're going to go on Yelp, you're going to go wherever you need to go, you're going to go complain. But if you get a good meal, unless it's super exceptionally good, usually you don't say anything. And that's how a lot of mod authors are. That's even a YouTube channel like mine. uh, I get people saying, hey, good job, this is good, but sometimes I get those little hateful ones, and I'm the type of person that I care less. You can have your opinion, it doesn't bother me, but um I just think this is sad that Lule got burnt out, and this thing that she was passionate about, loved doing and stuff, she just doesn't want to do anymore on that. I mean, she might do other development and stuff, I don't know. But anyway, I just think that's really sad that, a developer feels like, people are acting as if they owe them. And I understand that. I mean, I have a World of Warcraft account and I pay a subscription for that. If World of Warcraft changes something in one of their expansions or updates, I do feel like I have the right to complain. They might not do anything about it, but I can go on the forums, I can complain, say, I hate that you did this. Uh, you know, I can, go in there and voice my opinion. But when it comes to these people that are, they're not asking, it's not behind a paywall. Uh, these people are, ones that are doing it out of the kindness of their heart. And especially in this case, for example, if you get in a scenario, here we are in this scenario, Stolen Heart, don't even remember what it's about. But look, we could do this. See how I changed this to, well, I changed it from, it's kind of confusing. You can disable the auto cards. Now there, I actually did this earlier because I didn't want the auto cards running in this one. But that's all you do. Auto cards is no longer running in this. I can play it. So, if you get in something, you're like, I hate auto cards, uh, disable it. It doesn't, you can do that. You can disable it. The other thing is where Ludleia was actually saying that AutoCards is free, open source, and all that. Well, that's the other thing right there. If you have, this is my actual paid account, um, and if you go into where I've been testing, and this actually has the latest auto cards. If I go, well, not that one, this one, and go to edit, if I know anything about programming at all, here's the code. If there's something I don't like and I know how to code, well, that's all the main card. I can go through here and I can actually find things that I want to change and I can change them. I know the AI Dungeon is doing some stuff with their next version that is in alpha right now. And from what I've seen, AutoCards is broken and it does not function properly. And maybe that's part of what caused this post in uh in Discord, is people saying, fix it. I want to fix now. This sucks. But open source people, just, I mean, a whole lot of comments up here, but here we go. Uh, you find out why it sucks. All the code's right here. You can change it. I bet if you were to then submit your changes or recommendations to Ludleia, she'd be more than happy to actually go and update the official code and put it back out. But you don't have anything you can really argue about there. It's right there available for you and everything. Um, what was I doing now? Oh yeah. So just to give you guys a look at what I do. So this is my, like I said, it's my paid account. It's my Tazman account. And these, well, this one's brand new, but these three are my very first scenarios I ever actually did. Um, and they're all about 1,000 tokens each. I've really enjoyed them. But then if I scroll down, you can see these are just ones that I find that look interesting inside the discovery that I want to actually look at for maybe features, how they did things, and stuff like that, so that I can actually give you guys good videos. So anyway, you'll notice almost all of these only have 2 interactions because I just create this scenario, and make it load up, and then I go get the next one. But so I'm slowly working through these. I've probably gone through a couple hundred, I would think, um, throughout my time. But anyway, I really just wanted to kind of point that out. Now, I know this is kind of a ranty video, and so because of that, I am going to give you guys a treat. Well, one person can have a treat. The first person that in my YouTube comments uh, has the comment, what would be something kind of funny? How about how now, brown cow? If you have a Steam account, I will gift you either Planet Explorers, which I've done a big video series on in the past, was really popular series too. I was sad when it came to an end, or Terraria. So leave a comment saying how now, brown cow. First person that does that actually also has a Steam account. One, you get to be a friend of mine on Steam. Um, and two, I will gift you one of those two games. Um, and yeah, I think that will do. So hopefully that will make up for me saying a whole lot this episode. Um, but I kind of feel like it was important to kind of share. We really should show love to these people that are giving their time and stuff. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click the notification bell. Join my Discord. Tell other people about my channel. Come check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. And oh, the other thing I was going to say, if anyone wants to read these stories, because I'm really proud of some of them, they're really good. You'll see they're unlisted. If anyone is interested, then I'll just go put them in my Discord so you can actually go read them. But anyway, sorry, a little sidetracked. Yeah, that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.